Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, maybe you noticed from the thumbnail for this video that this is my response video for the larger spread that I do earlier in the week. And I've started my year-long deep dive into the Lenormand system, so this video is in response to that larger Lenormand spread. And if you've seen that one already, bravo, you're my favorite kind of viewer. If you have not seen that video yet, I highly recommend you go and watch that video first and then come back and watch this one. Because like I said, this is a response video. It's in response to that one. So I'm reading these cards in a particular way in response to that spread. And I would read these same cards in a very different way, or at least a somewhat different way, in response to a different question and a different situation, right? Because we always read cards in response to a question. And the question that I ask for this part of my video series is, what is the central message of the last Lenormand spread? So this is all reflective of and bouncing off of that spread, right? And it all responding to that. So I'll put a card up here for you to be able to click on the card, go back, watch that video, and just remember you don't have to watch any of these videos in one sitting. If they're too long for you, you can break them up into bite-sized chunks and watch them in that way. Yes? Okay, so yes, this week you might have noticed from the thumbnail that I've gone back to my Thoth deck. I noticed after I had prepared, I should say, I had noticed that after I had prepared for last week's response video, that I had accidentally missed my Thoth week. And so I decided, okay, I've got to go back and do a Thoth reading next week, and so that's what we're doing here. We're doing a Thoth reading. And before we get to the reading, maybe you did watch that previous video, but maybe you don't remember what it was you saw because it was a while ago. So let me just give you a little bit of a reminder. That previous video's title was A Strong New Beginning. A strong new beginning. And it was all about something new entering our experience. Entering our experience perhaps in a small way, like a seed, but one that will endure, one that will continue, that will develop and evolve for and with us over time. And we might not know exactly where it's going or how we're going to get there, but it's the beginning of a new journey of evolution with whatever it is that is appearing for us. It could be a relationship, it could be a project, it could be a child. I don't know. If you are about to give birth to a child, maybe this reading was particularly for you. But it's a strong new beginning. It's not just something small that appears and it remains something cute and, oh, isn't this cute new thing wonderful? I'll just put it on the shelf there. This is something that is strong, it's powerful, it's small, but it's going to grow. Yes? So, what are we going to do? I'm going to show you the spread that we got for this response. And then I'll briefly describe the cards that you saw. And then we are going to move into the reading. We'll break the spread down into its two major component parts and read those parts together. Are you all ready? Well, friends, here is this week's spread. You just saw that we had 3 cards on top and 3 cards below, right? The 3 cards on the top you probably recognized are the very modern printing of the Thoth deck, right? The Harris-Crowley deck that you can get on Amazon. I'll put a link to the Amazon page shop for this shop. It's not a shop. I'll put a link to this deck on Amazon down in the description box below, but you can find it anywhere. It's the most common printing now of the Thoth deck. So there's that. But I love this deck. I love the Thoth system, and I love the Harris-Crowley original interpretation of this system. Fabulous. The 3 cards you saw below are from an oracle deck that, if you've been following along with me, especially if you were following along my Thoth deep dive year, you have seen this deck a lot. It's the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. It's available on Amazon. I'll put a link to Amazon down in the description box below. And the reason I love using this deck with the Thoth deck is it's also an astrologically based oracle. Yeah, it's got all of the planets, all of the signs, the 12 signs. So it's really a wonderful thing to use with a very blatantly astrologically based tarot deck like the Thoth system. So we got that. And the 3 cards above, they are originally, when I lay these 3 cards, I usually give them significance, challenge, advice, a 3-card spread. I forgot to do that when I was laying this spread. So we're not going to read it that way. Now we're just going to read them as a 3-card spread without positions, a non-positional 3-card spread. So there's that. Now, but I did intentionally lay the 3 oracle cards beneath each one of the tarot cards to give it the position of a modifier. So first we're going to read the 3 tarot cards above, and then we'll look at the oracle cards below and see how they modify, what information that they add individually to each one of the cards above. Does that make sense? I hope so, because that's what we're going to do. So friends, here is the top of the spread right now. From left to right, you saw the 3 cards. Yes? The 4 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, and then the 2 of Wands. And I've just got to tell you, when these cards came out, I got a little bit scared. I had to go and look at the deck. I had to turn the deck over and look at it because I was afraid that maybe I had forgotten to shuffle this deck. Like, I had taken a deck that was in order and used it fresh without preparing it. And then looking at the deck, I saw, nope. This deck is very well mixed, but these cards coming out in this order was, for me, a little shocking for a moment. I was surprised. Maybe you're surprised too. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. So yeah, from left to right, we got the 4 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. Significant in many ways. First one being that they're in descending order. So you might say that the energy is descending, or maybe that I should read it from right to left instead of left to right. But I feel strongly that this really is, I laid it out left to right, that this is a left to right spread, especially because there are no people looking in the other direction. Now, if there were people looking in the other direction, I might be more inclined to switch directions of reading, but that was the direction I laid them, and it just feels right. Another thing is, astrologically, all 3 of these cards are based in Aries. Now, the 3 Aries-based cards of the Minor Arcana in the Thoth system are laid out here. right before our eyes. That's pretty significant. So we've got a very Aries spread here. And what is Aries? Aries is the first sign of the zodiacal year, right? It's the one who starts things off. New, strong beginnings, right? It starts things off, gets an idea or a passion caught in their craw, and I am going to go do this. That's the Aries sign, right? That's what this first spread was all about. So, very, very interesting. And we start off with this beautiful, beautiful Four of Wands card. I love the doves and the rams there. Yeah? The rams are to indicate Aries, and the doves are to indicate Venus, because the Four of Wands, whose title is completion, points to points to Venus in Aries. Now, the way that I like to read the zodiac in Tarot is different from the Golden Dawn associations of organization of the zodiac. Yeah, I organize zodiac astrology for the Tarot in what is called the traditional decanates of triplicity, which means for Aries there should be 3 planets. Well, there are 3 planets in the Golden Dawn, but the 3 planets for me in Aries would be a Mars for Aries, the first decanate, the Sun for Leo, the second decanate, and then Jupiter for Sagittarius, the third decanate. But the Golden Dawn puts Mars, yes, for Aries, but then puts the Sun, but then puts Venus in the third decanate, which is just weird to me, but we're going with that because that's the system we're reading right now. So we've got Venus in Aries, which is, and if somebody has Venus in Aries, they're passionate and they're dynamic people, right? So this card points to a completion might satisfy, but nothing remains the same. Yeah, something has been completed, but we want to recognize that nothing remains the same. Things change. So clear boundaries are recommended with this card. We have the promise of promises being fulfilled, that we've created a foundation for our future progress, for future change, and for future transformation. So we start off with this card of balance, passion, but also a strong foundation from which to leap. Yeah, this is a milestone, but a milestone that is solid, that will give us a place to jump off from. And maybe we don't have the intention to expand or modify our situation, but it cannot remain the same forever, which makes sense for the beginning of this spread. Yeah, things might be good for us right now, and that's great. But this is only a launching pad. It's only the launching pad for the next thing, for the next cycle. And so the next card we have is the Three of Wands, which is virtue. And for some reason, virtue has never really set well with me as the title for this card, because Crowley points to meanings that don't really ring the same as what virtue means for me. For when I think of virtue, I think of the virtues, yeah? Justice, prudence, love, faith. But that's not what this card is pointing towards. This card does give us the Sun in Aries. So you see that fiery sun energy there in the background, right? We've got those 3 lotus wands and the powerful energy behind them. Now, because we have the Sun in Aries, for me, that brings in the fixed aspect of cardinal fire. Cardinal fire being Aries, the Sun being domiciled in Leo, so it's the Leo decanate of Aries, giving us fixed fire in cardinal fire. So the fixed aspect of cardinal fire's vital attributes are entering our reading here. So there's a little bit more. So we came from a foundation, a grounded foundation of completion with the Four of Wands. Here we've got a fixedness, but a creative fixedness because it's Leo. But we also have a complement because this is the second decanate of Aries. So we have Mars also residing in Taurus, which is cool because that's the very next sign, right? So Mars in Taurus gives us that, energizes the desire to enjoy what is, to enjoy what we have around us, and to do the work to move forward in a steady fashion. That's the complement. We have that energy possible for us. So for Crowley, the Three of Wands, though it is titled virtue, is the first and fixed establishment in a situation. So there is early success, but there is still work to do. Think Taurus moving forward, Mars in Taurus moving forward. We've got work to do, but we've got some initial success. So we want to have high values for what we are intending. And maybe we don't know exactly where that intention is leading us, but we want to have a high value for the journey we are on. And we want to activate our own willpower to move forward. And it's not the willpower of at all costs against all odds, but the willpower to maintain, to move forward. Remember the Lover's card in the Tarot section of the previous spread. Now, to continually make the choice of relationship as we move through the ever evolving now. Yes? So we've got that. So we've got our foundation. Now we've got movement forward, which is interesting because we think that we should be moving from 2 up to 4, but moving from 4 down to 2 really makes it seem like we got a foundation. Now we're leaping off with the 3. And what do we get in the 2? Frankly, there are 2 cards in the Harris-Crowley deck that artistically, color palette wise, are I don't like them. One of them is the Emperor because all of that red and yellow is so intense I have a hard time seeing the image. The bluish whiteness out here around the edges of the image in this card, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. So these are the 2 cards that as far as color palette, I don't really like. Only 2 cards. But still, it's a great card. It's the Two of Wands. We have Mars in Aries, the first decanate of Cardinal Fire's vital. So we have Cardinal Fire's vital attributes entering our spread right here. And so this is our pure will, free of attachment to purpose or result or even object. Our pure will moving us forward, unattached. It's a significant and rapid burst of energy, strength, boldness, courage. This Two of Wands, this called, what is it called again? It's called Dominion. Yeah, Dominion keeps us going in the direction we have chosen. So this gives us our ability to continue moving through this long journey that we've embarked on. So we keep going in the direction we've chosen, and we can work through obstacles and keep in charge of ourselves as well. We're natural and we're confident, and we have dominion without guilt or falsehood. We have the power to move forward. Now, again, it's weird. These cards should be moving in the other direction, but moving from 4 down to 2 actually seems more energizing than a descent. We've gone from the platform, we've leapt off, we've have first results, but there's more work to do. And then the Two of Wands gives us that energy to keep doing the work, keep moving without attachment to it, without being attached to what the result is going to be, because we don't know what the result is going to be according to the Lenormand spread, or to the journey that we're on, because again, according to the Lenormand spread, we don't know how we're going to get there either. But we know we're going. We know that it's new, we know that it's evolving. Right? Isn't that interesting how this, I think this really talks or speaks to the ship card in the previous spread. And, okay, so no, also the rider card in the previous spread. And if you've seen the previous spread, you'll know what I mean. Yes? So, friends, we've got 3 oracle cards to help modify, in the sense of adjectives modifying nouns, to modify the 3 cards that we just read. Let's look at those cards right now. Friends, from left to right, you saw number 1 card being protection, and then in the middle, number 11 being innovation, and then on the right, we had number 6, which is determination. I'm sorry, discrimination. Discrimination. Oops. So the protection card reminded me suddenly of Colette Baron Reid and one of her decks. When cards are reversed, they're called protection cards. And I'm sorry, just a little bit of a mind trip. Okay, so here we go. This is the protection card. And in this card, beautiful art, we see that this is the moon in which sign? The moon in Aries. Right? Another Aries being brought forth into our reading. In the picture, you see a gentle mother doting on her children. The moon above, and the tiger below. Excuse me, the tiger below. Give us the idea of immense instinctive protective power of the feminine. Now the tiger, a female tiger protecting her cubs, the moon above, instinctive power, feminine power in the moon as well. So this card gives us what? It gives us the ideas of care, that sympathy for another doesn't leave us vulnerable to manipulation, that we can care for and we can be sympathetic towards others without being able to be manipulated or being vulnerable. We might need to protect our position. That's possible. And we might feel the need to respond emotionally and immediately to a situation. And maybe because of the moon being changeable, we could feel moody or changeable. We might be impressionable too. Yeah, we might notice that our intuition and our guts are like our guts. We might get information. We might have a gut feeling. That's what I'm trying to say. We might get a gut feeling. Our intuition may speak to us now. But notice that was beneath the Four of Wands card for completion, right? That foundation, the milestone, the place from which to launch. This is where we are feeling our power. And yet there's a changeableness to it. And we might get intuitive hits. We might get information from our intuition or from our gut feelings. We might feel the need to be protective. And remember, that was something we wanted to be careful of. That was pointed towards in the previous spread. Remember that? So, wonderful things. Yeah? We have the power to protect, to be empathetic towards others. We want to pay attention to our intuition, to our gut feelings. We feel strong where we are, but we might want to be aware of our potential of reactivity, of being defensive. That's not going to help carry us forward. That's going to push us back, I believe. Yes? You can feel that, yes? And then the next card here is what? Number 11 for innovation. We see Jupiter in, what is that, Aquarius? Aquarius, yes, Aquarius, of course, 11 is Aquarius. And we see a woman here sitting on a plant that is also a stool for her. She's holding a whip with a 9-pointed flower on the end of it, right? And there are 3 ankhs. And there are 3 that are there are 4 ankhs, 3 that are the same and 1 that is different. And I'm not really sure what that means, honestly, but that's what we see. This card indicates gaining through involvement with reforms, social organizations, and good causes. Yeah, it's that we will benefit from our activity in helping others in a structured format. Yeah, not just like paying forward, but actually getting involved in some social organizations or good causes or being reformers of institutions and systems. It's the importance of universal codes of ethics in a very Aquarian way, right? And we will benefit from that. That expansiveness of Jupiter, which in Aquarius expands that desire for evolution, for the righteous cause, for social development. We are broad-minded and open to new ideas that could be especially related to philosophy, religion, even the occult sciences. We can also carry large group endeavors to success. We can move things in the direction of accomplishment. And we have new approaches to problems. Yeah? And we might get help from our friends. Aquarians are friendly. They have good relationships. They're not necessarily deep, meaningful relationships, but they're friendly, they're congenial, and that congeniality helps get help from other people to do those things that are really important for the Aquarians, which are not necessarily the relationships, but the evolution of society and the evolution of thought and the evolution of humankind. Yes? So this card was under the virtue card, which is interesting. Yeah, virtue card. So in our what? In our recognition of success and things that we are still moving forward, we still work towards, we want to be aware that our working for the benefit of others will also benefit us. Right? As we move forward with this new project, this new thing that we're engaged with, we also want to be broad-minded to accept new ideas that will help our development, help the thing that we're experiencing as new to evolve, to grow. It will also help us if we put our attention on ethics, doing things the right way, on philosophy, on spirituality, on religion, on reading Tarot if you read Tarot. Those things will all help us to expand here in our Aquarian space. Because, we all have all aspects of the zodiac within us, just like we have all aspects of, quote, gender, unquote, within us. We have all the masculine, all of the feminine, all of it. It's just we engage with certain parts of that spectrum more than others. Yeah? Just like this, we have all of the zodiac within us. We just engage with certain parts of the zodiac more than others. We have the Aquarius in us. And that will serve us if we can move forward with that. And the next card is what? Discrimination. And this is not the discrimination of against people, but the discrimination of making distinctions, right? And here we have Venus in Venus in Libra. No, not Libra, what I'm saying. Venus. No, Virgo. Venus in Virgo. So we have the fixed aspect, which is Taurus. That's the Taurus decadent of Virgo. We have the fixed aspect of mutable Earth's vital attributes entering our reading here. And we see a barefoot woman in a neat countryside reaching for butterflies, giving us an airy feeling there. There's a barking fox, and Virgo cares for and rules small, delicate creatures like this barking fox. So the barking fox is cared for by Virgo, and the woman is a representation of Venus, reaching for butterflies of beauty. Yes? And yet there's a little bit of danger here of overanalyzing. Yes? Especially overanalyzing our emotions. But emotional analysis that is well directed can help others. Help others. We could be a counselor for others. Counselor for others. Here. But we don't want to overanalyze, because overanalysis can lead to paralysis, right? We're analyzing, helping, yes, but not overanalyzing. We might want to be selective with who we give our affection to with this card. But we want to be careful of being too picky. We don't want to be too discriminate. But we want to be a little bit discriminate of where we place our affections. Relationships centered on work and health are good for us right now. And we can have harmonious and beautiful environments if we give our attention to them. And still, we want to be selective and use proper discretion to attain what we're moving towards. So we've got all of this power available to us in the Two of Wands, right? Keep going in the direction we've chosen. And we want to pay attention to our emotions and the emotions of others, but not overanalyze them. But a well-chosen amount of analysis is going to help us and others. As we keep moving forward, we want to be selective of where our energy is going. We don't want to give our emotional energy all to the people, to a broad range of people, and not have enough energy left to do this, right? We want to be discerning on where we're placing our affections. And we can enjoy our power in beautiful environments as well. How wonderful is that? And that is what's going to help us to grow, to create. As we counsel others, we do that work of, remember in this card, we're bringing in new ideas, philosophy, religion, and then here we can use that to counsel others. But not too many people. A well-chosen few. Yeah, and you choose them with discretion. Be aware, vet the people that we are going to be giving our attention and our energy to, but give it energy and attention, because that will uplift all of us. As we do the process of traveling the journey of this strong new thing developing. Yes? Does that make sense? I hope it does. And if it does, let me know in the comments below. If it does not, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to engage with you. Maybe you can help me figure this out even better. Yeah? Also, if you want a reading from me, there was a QR code earlier in the video. Maybe earlier is that way. But just in case, I'll also have my website address for my shop online, my tarot shop. You can order a reading from me there. Or you can send me an email to thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com and we'll get you a reading. Yeah, all of that information is in the description box below. Also, thank you. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. All of those things that you do help other people to find us and join our community. It's a wonderful thing, and thank you for doing that. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.